All right.
Okay.
I see a message that it's now streaming live on YouTube.
Great.
Okay, so with that, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Town of Rochester Zoning Board of Appeals for January 21st, 2021. Brianna, if you could please take the roll.
Chair Sars,
Present?
Mr. Fisher, all right, I'll go to Bill and then I'll go back to Charlie. Mr. Behringer,
Present.
Mr.
Would you
Fisher,
all-
Charlie, if you can hear us, you're on mute. If you can unmute yourself.
Aaron, perhaps you can unmute him from your side.
Charlie, try hitting this, hold down your space bar.
Or in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a place where you can mute too. See if
Mhm.
that's what's doing it.
can he raise his hand for being present, Mary Lou?
So sometimes, Charlie, there's a little thing that looks like a microphone on your F4 key above the number 3 or the number 4 on your keyboard. If there's a little mic on there with an X next to it, if you hit the FN key that's down at the bottom and that F4 key together, that sometimes lets the mic go as well.
Brianna, he could do that, but
There
I'm
I
working.
There he is.
There you go.
I got
Don't
back
put it
in
on
here.
mute again, Charlie. Keep it off. We'll listen to dogs bark, anything.
I didn't touch it. I lost everything.
I know, that was weird. That happened to me. Was it the town board meeting or planning board meeting
Yep.
last week? Nothing was working.
All
Right.
right. So Brianna.
Mr.
you can finish
Fisher.
up the roll.
Yes.
Okay,
So also present is Attorney Mary Lou Christiana. Brianna Tetro, mark yourself present as the secretary, and Aaron Anawan is serving as the meeting host today. So, and then just briefly, I've confirmed with the town council that tonight's meeting has been convened in accordance with the governor's March 13th, 2020 Executive Order 202.1, which suspends certain provisions of the open meetings law to allow a municipal board to convene a meeting via video conferencing. In accordance with the executive order, the public has been provided with the ability to view tonight's meeting via YouTube, and a transcript will be provided at a later date. The secretary has completed a roll call of the board members, and there is a quorum present for this meeting. I have also confirmed with the secretary that this meeting has been duly noticed. We have fulfilled our legal notice requirements by posting notice in the town clerk bulletin board and outside door, posting legal notice in the Schwamgund Journal, and posting notice on the town's website. Thank you. Just before we get started, I would just like to take a minute to thank former Chairman Cliff Mallory for his service to the town and to this board, and also personally for his guidance and the support he provided me over the years. And I wish him nothing but the best as he continues on. So, thank you. All right. So with the agenda, I'm just jumping over to that if I can find it here. Just one change to the agenda. Under other matters, I'd like to have added to that for tonight a discussion of the meeting start time, if we could. And with that, the first item on the agenda tonight is the Williams Arians area variance public meeting. And before we start that, just a couple housekeeping things in the order, with the public meeting. The public will have the opportunity to comment on the variance application. The public should address their comments to the board, not to the applicant. There'll be time for them to ask us questions regarding the variance application if they need it. And then there'll be some time for rebuttal by the applicant if necessary. The first thing I'll do after we open the public hearing is ask Brianna for any correspondence that's been received in the mail. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. I seem to have lost you.
We're here.
Okay. All right. So do I have a motion to open the hearing?
You
I'll
don't
make
actually
that
need a motion. You can just open it on your own.
All right. So I'd like to open the hearing on the Williams area variance. And I know Nadine is here representing the Williams. If you could just start with a recap of the variance application itself.
Sure. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. This is Nadine from Peak. So the application for the area variance is between a proposed lot line and an existing garage. There's an existing garage on the property. It's been there for 13 years, and currently it is 55.6 feet from the existing property line. The applicant is proposing a 25-foot wide access strip along that property line that encroaches on the corner of the garage, only providing 30.6 feet between that corner of the garage and the property line, the new property line proposed. I'm wondering, is it possible to share my screen with the board? And then I don't know, I don't see that anybody is on from the public, but maybe because I thought it'd be good to show where the 40-foot setback would be, the other corner of the garage that meets the setback, and just kind of show the board that.
Well, we all have copies of the map. I
Right.
can-
Some of the other dimensions aren't shown on that map that might clarify.
I think it's always good to give the applicant the sharing ability. So that way, if people are from the public are looking, although the board members all have the map, I have the map, the members of the public can't see it. If anybody's out there watching on YouTube, they should be able to see what we're talking about.
Yeah. So Erin, are you able to pass control for the map to?
Nadine, I've given you screen or co-host. Can you just see if that'll allow you to share your screen?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do some things here. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
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 Okay.
No, I lost everything again.
You
Can
lost your
still see
window?
and hear you.
Yes.
Do you
Here it is.
have
Yeah.
anything on there, like a little strip or anything?
No, just my sign-on page of when I sign on to my computer.
Huh.
That's what happened before on me.
So Charlie, try holding down the Alt and Tab screen. Sometimes that lets you page through the things that you have open, and maybe it'll come up that way. Alt and Tab. You might see a bunch of little boxes open up.
Nope, nothing.
Do you want me to continue, or, and then I can stop sharing and we can see if Charlie gets it back?
Well, let's give him another minute or so to see if he can recover it. Charlie, did we lose you entirely?
No, I see him there, but I don't,
Yeah, I can see now.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
very
great.
good. Thank you.
All right, so on the screen,
Now I lost it. Yeah,
Had it and you lost it.
yeah, it says join the meeting and then I lose everything.
Oh, that's weird. What if you sign out completely, then come back in, Charlie? I don't know if that,
Charlie, what if you drag your cursor all the way down to the bottom there? Do you see anything when you end up down at the bottom?
Yeah, there's a video. Says join the meeting and then let me, oh, I just keep losing it all the time. It's just getting aggravating.
Charlie, do you have the map that were sent in the Google Drive? I don't know if you printed those or if,
No, I didn't print anything out.
okay.
Can you look on the
I seen the
zoning?
map for a second, but then I lost it.
Can you look on the zoning document site and look at the map there? Are you able to get to that? You know, where Brianna stores the documents and the agendas and stuff?
I can try it.
Okay.
about to postpone or this segment of it.
No.
Another option, I don't know how cell service is at your house, Charlie. Another option is for you to also pull it up on your phone and just turn the volume off on your phone to see if you can see it on there.
I could try that.
But a small screen.
Yeah, it is a small screen.
Nadine, you know this never happens, right?
I know
This
this is
is
very
the first
difficult, I
time.
know.
It's the first time it's happened to me here. I know that.
Time I think I've seen it happen too.
I know I can't get on the Town of Rochester website here at the house.
Huh.
But that's nothing new. That's been like that for years.
Yeah, so Charlie, what it sounds like whatever's happening with you is what happened with me at the planning board meeting, and it just kept kicking me off. Except we can hear and see you. They couldn't hear me,
Yeah.
or I couldn't hear
Okay.
them.
Must be a
I got
glitch in
it back.
Zoom.
I got it back. Let's see how long that lasts.
Okay, quick, Nadine, go.
Okay. So what you see on the screen right now is what exists. It's the garage, it's the property line, it's the setback. So I am going to turn on this other layer. So everything in red, this thick line here is the proposed property line as it passes the garage. This thin red line is the 40-foot setback from that. So this is the little corner in beige, the corner of the garage that will encroach on that setback. However, you know, and as we presented previously, this property line, so the you know, adjoining property over here is really not affected at all by this, because this doesn't change the distance from the property line the way it was. And there is no building proposed in this entire 25-foot strip because the strip is strictly for access. There's no additional building there. So I just wanted to, I thought this illustration would maybe just help a little bit, you know, kind of see what, you know, what exists, and then basically the change with the proposed, that it really doesn't change the way the site exists at all. The driveway's there, the garage is there. So the property line is being proposed to access the back, just transfers that piece of land to the back owner. And that's all I wanted to kind of show. I could stop sharing, or if you guys have questions about what's on the screen.
Now, leave that up there for a few minutes.
You betcha.
I do have a question. Now, the distance from the property line to the garage is 55.6 inches?
Feet.
55.6 feet
Exactly, yes. Currently,
currently.
yep.
Now, what do you mean? Will that change or?
So, no, I'm just, let me freeze this again. So this pink line is the property line as it
Right.
exists.
Right.
Hang on one second. The applicant was having a hard time getting on. All right. Hi, we're on the meeting. I'm going to put you on speaker so you can hear. Okay. So the pink line is the property line that exists now. The blue box is the garage, and the yellow dashed line is basically the driveway. So this 55.6 is the dimension from the corner of the garage to this pink property line, which that property line will remain there. It doesn't change. So then if I turn these red lines back on.
Keeps freezing up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Charlie. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, so now
Voice.
this 55.6 doesn't change. It's still, that's the corner of the garage to this property line. But this red line here is proposed new line that creates this 25-foot strip for this driveway to access the rear lot. And this is the line here that encroaches on the setback from the garage. The garage doesn't move. This pink property line doesn't move. It's just the new line that we're creating that will encroach on
Okay,
this corner.
what hinders them from moving it closer to the property line so it doesn't have to be over near the garage like that?
Right, so currently the 25-foot strip encompasses the driveway that's there. So it keeps it fully within that strip, which is what the applicant would like. The applicant owns this property and he will be retaining the rear lot that this strip goes to. And this way, the entire driveway falls within that strip. And then there'll be an easement over that strip to the front lot that's being created. And again, it's just, you know, it's this little tiny corner of the garage. It's not the whole garage. It's not, you know, half the garage.
But if you move that closer to the property line, you wouldn't have that problem.
Again, then it does cause other practical problems with where the property line is in relation to the existing driveway. And for clarity and for practical reasons with the subdivision, it makes more sense to totally encompass the driveway into that strip. And everyone will know basically where the property line is, and it won't be like, well, it's, you know, it's halfway through the driveway, it's all, you know. So it's really more for practicality than anything, because otherwise, if this was only 15 feet from the property line, it would be somewhere in the middle of the existing driveway. And then there would have to be, you know, another easement from
Right.
lot 2 to lot 1 and lot 1 to lot 2. This way it's just, you know, lot 1 will have an easement over that, period.
Now, when you got a right of way, say it's supposed to be 50 feet wide, right of way. Okay? Regardless, it doesn't matter where you put your roadway on that right of way, down through, you can put it on in the middle and the sides, doesn't matter. So if you start your right of way at the property line and bring it out, the driveway doesn't necessarily have to be alongside that property line.
So this is not a right of way to the rear lot. This is a new property line, and this will be owned by the rear lot as a flag. So it's not a right of way
Oh,
to lot 2. There
Oh.
will be an easement for lot 1 to utilize that driveway, but that is not a right of way. It will be owned by lot 2.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pick it up, Bruce.
So I guess what Bill was saying is if the easement went the other way, that the lot 1 is the existing house, right? Is that what we're going to call the existing house, lot 1?
Right, this is the existing house and
So-
existing garage, yeah.
So if the new property had an easement that began roughly at or ended at your 44.5 mark, right? If the lot line was drawn there, and they had an easement from lot 1 all the way up to that 45.5 mark, there'd be no variance required in that situation, right?
Well,
I think that's where
town
Bill was going
zoning,
with it.
Exactly, almost exactly.
town zoning does require that lot to have road frontage. So that strip goes all the way out to Old Kings Highway, providing that lot the road frontage that it's required. So, so we can't end the right of way because the property does need road frontage.
Why would you leave a piece between the property line and the piece that you're asking for? Why would you leave instead of going all the way over to the property, starting from the property line?
It does. See, this is Old Kings Highway.
Yeah, up there, yeah, but I mean back by the shed.
This strip
not
goes
seeing.
all the way back,
Right,
and this is lot 2.
right.
So we're not leaving anything
But what
between
you're
the,
saying, well, you can't see me, but where that red line is, you're not, see, if you measure from the property line to where it is, you said is 55.6 feet.
correct, the existing property line, which,
Correct. So
yes.
why don't you start that easement line right there at the property line?
So this pink line,
Yeah,
between this pink line and this red line
yeah,
is not an easement. That is a strip that goes with lot 2, from lot
That's
2
part of
all the
lot
way to
2.
the road to provide road frontage.
right.
They are required to have road frontage to create the lot. So
Right.
this is not an easement. That strip will be part of lot 2.
Okay.
So this property line stays, but now it's now,
But now there's another property line between the purplish pink property line and lot 1.
and I'm going to change the color so you can see. So now they're both property lines.
Right. Bill, that's sort of the pole of the flag, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
The pole of the flag runs from Old Kings Highway all the way up a few hundred feet, it looks like, to where it
Yes.
expands out, right?
Exactly. Yep.
And where the pole of the flag meets Kings Highway, it has to be 50 feet by code because you need 50 feet road frontage.
Correct.
So you have at least that. Now we have the pole that runs up, right?
Right.
And Bill, I think you had a question about right of way and how that applies to that pole of 50-foot right of way, right? Sorry, because we missed last meeting because of typographical error in the notification, but so I guess it would be the November meeting. You had brought up an issue about a right of way being 50 feet.
Correct.
You want to speak to that a bit?
The only thing I was trying to clarify it here because they got the 55.6 if they wanted to use it. Now,
Well, except then they can't have a lot two because lot two wouldn't have frontage if they left the lot line where it is. They need the frontage for lot two, so they have to have this pole.
okay.
Right,
We're not-
they can't, I'm sorry. You can't end the pole at the 55-foot mark because it doesn't abut Old Kings Highway.
It goes all the way from Old Kings Highway all the way into lot 2 and becomes part of lot 2. So we're not moving this property line, the existing one. What we're doing is this stays, and it will now be the property line for lot 2 to the adjoining property to the, I'm just going to say it's the east or the west. And then we're creating a new property line here that'll be the new property line between lot 2 and lot 1.
Why can't
So-
you widen that? That's what I don't know. Something I'm just not seeing. You should be able to widen that. Move that line right where you got that closer to the garage.
This garage is staying on lot 1.
Yeah. I don't care about the garage. Just move that line where you had that thing. The
Right here?
30.06. Move it closer to the garage.
Well,
Okay, then you need more of a variance.
that's the setback issue, that 30.6 right there
What,
from the
just for a
garage.
right away, you need more of a variance?
No
No,
right
you'd be
away.
changing the lot line. You'd be changing the lot line closer. So instead of being 30.6 foot setback, if
Yeah.
you moved it to 50, you'd only have a 5.6 foot setback. So you'd need a 45 foot variance.
I'm looking at one thing.
We don't
All right.
need 50-foot right of way.
Yes, you
We
do.
need this strip for access from the road to the property, which will go with lot 2, which creates this new property line and the need for this variance right here.
Okay, can I just back you up a second? Why are you saying you don't need a 50-foot right-of-way? Sorry, I'm a bit.
Because we're not creating a right of way, we're creating a strip of land that has access to the road.
But it's a subdivision. Subdivision has to have a
That
50-foot
issue of how wide that will have to be and whether it's a right of way is actually going to be a planning board question. There's a provision that says an access right of way on a flag lot has to be 50 feet,
Correct.
Nadine. So that's something that you're going to have to deal with, should you be granted this variance, with the planning board, whether it means you get a right of way over one of the neighboring properties or a waiver but that's
I mean,
a
that's
planning
the thing,
board
we can
question.
get, so this strip is 25 feet. There can be another 25 feet over lot 1 that makes that a 50-foot wide easement. But
Right, but it doesn't, the lot line doesn't have to be there, right?
That's right.
And
There's the difference between a property line and a right-of-way.
correct.
Right?
And this is creating the strip that provides access to the road. That's a requirement.
And that we understand. We're
We
clear on
can't just
that.
have a 50-foot right of way back to lot 2. We have
No,
to have a property line.
Yeah, no, we understand. I understand that. But where I was backing you up was where you said you didn't need a right-of-way. And that's the question. And that question is for the planning board. The 25 feet for the pole, the 30-foot versus the 40-foot, that's something for the zoning board, right? The right-of-way requirement at 50 feet is for the planning board to either enforce or waive or make sure that you have it on your plat that you file, right?
Yeah. So, and I know, I mean, we've met with the planning board several times. It hasn't come up, but if it's part of one of their conditions, it'll be one of their conditions. So, but
They are aware of it.
If
It may not
given
have been
code-
last time, but they are now.
I was gonna say, given the code number.
so the issue still is the request for the area variance right here for this portion of the garage that will be encroaching in the 40-foot setback from this new side line.
Right, that's the
That's the
Exactly.
request, yeah.
That's what's in front of us. Understood. All right. Are there any more questions from either Charlie or Bill?
No.
Charlie?
Charlie here.
Is he still on?
There he is. He's here.
Charlie, any questions?
His mute is on again. Charlie, if you can't turn your mute off and you have any questions, you could put them in. There's a button at the bottom of the screen for chat. Ah, there he is.
I'm here for a minute or two.
Charlie, do you have any further questions for the applicant?
No, I don't.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Brianna, were there any comments submitted via email or mail to you on this application?
No comments.
Thank you, Brianna. Aaron, are there any members of the public on the line that would like to provide comment?
No, no one has tried to join the meeting.
All right, thank you. So just have a brief discussion amongst our board members on any issues, any thoughts about this application, any motions they'd like to present. You know, what are you guys
First,
thinking?
you should move to close the public hearing if you're done taking comment.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Nadine's raising her hand.
Do you want me to
Okay.
stop sharing my screen? Or do you want me to leave it up?
Why don't you leave it up
Okay.
in case we have questions related to it amongst ourselves, right?
You bet.
So there was a motion to close the public hearing. Do we have a second?
Hey, Bruce.
I'll second. We have a roll call vote, Brianna?
Chair Sars,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher,
I,
Mr. Behringer,
Aye.
Arians, we've closed the public hearing. So thank you for the presentation, Nadine. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. I just a little update too from the planning board, which was done previously, but they did the secret review, determined that there is no negative impact and they issued a neg deck. So just so you know that the seeker's been done.
Yeah, thank you. They have communicated that to us. We've also, because it abuts ag zone land, we've also sent a letter to the Ulster County Planning Board. They've also responded that they see no issue with the request as well with the application.
Right.
Hey.
So Bill, any thoughts?
I don't know. I kind of think maybe it ought to be kicked back to the planning board to let them do a little more on the section there.
Well, it is before the planning board still, and they will be doing that. They
Okay.
have two applications, one before the zoning board and the other before the planning board. So that will be something that will have to be addressed by the planning board. That's still open there.
Well, then maybe we ought to wait and see what the planning board does on that.
The planning board has to wait for you.
Oh, okay.
It's the opposite.
Okay.
And, I'll just add, Bill, that this is 25th Strip, and I'll just show you real quick that there is plenty of room for
I understand that. The only thing that bothers me is the fact that it's supposed to be a 50-foot right away.
There's room to add another 25-foot
That's
strip
right.
for the right of way.
Yes.
And they don't have to do that by a lot line adjustment.
No,
And
they
that
don't.
does not require
That
any
will be
variance.
something that the, right, that wouldn't require variance. That would be something that the planning board would determine. They would have to help the applicant, come up with the best solution for that. But that's not something that this board would consider.
No, right, that's outside our purview on this. So.
Okay. That's all I got.
So I just want to remind the board that if you do make a decision tonight, or if there's a motion, there's only 3 of you currently on the board, but any decision, you need 3 votes, so you'll have to be unanimous. So just that reminder.
Thank you, Mary Lou. So,
I'd just like to add, and I know we made this with the application, but but some of the points with regard to this. Again, it's a line for transfer of land, but there's nothing proposed at this location as far as building, as far as even excavating, changing grade, changing vegetation. On the ground, on the site stays exactly the same. There is no impact to any of the neighbors in this location because of this proposal. And again, that, the 55.6, although it's not from the new property line, it does not change that distance to the line that separates this parcel from the current neighbor. And we also just like to add that sharing a driveway is encouraged through the comprehensive plan for the town of Rochester. So, and it also meets the fire code that two single-family residents can share a driveway. So it doesn't cause any other hardships within the community or surrounding lands, and that it's it's minor in nature.
So, Bill and Charlie, my view is, this has only just come up for the planning board. I don't see why they wouldn't simply consider this just another condition on the subdivision. That again, right of way is sort of an imaginary line. It's not really a property line.
And I'll offset this so that you can see where,
Yeah.
where we would propose. That's not right. Sorry.
So really what you're looking for is a 9.5 foot variance, right?
That's correct. 9.4 feet, pretty much. Yes.
9.4 feet. And that works out to roughly, I think it was 24%.
Yep, that sounds about right. I know, yeah, 24%. And again, it's not even like it's across the whole frontage of a garage. It's the garage is off skewed to the property line. So this area that's been shaded here shows the small portion of the garage
All right,
that.
here's a hypothetical question. You got that roadway that goes back through there. You got the other piece of property. Who's to say they're not going to sell off to another piece of land back there?
So
And
there
then
are
you're gonna need a bigger
restrictions.
right of way.
There are restrictions for a flag lot as far as future subdivision, and we will, obviously the planning board has already talked about that. We will provide the 50-foot right of way that's necessary. This line here, this pink line, shows that it can fit past that garage. It's not an issue, actually, and we can bring it right up to the property line.
Why can't you do that for now?
Because the lot, to create the lot, it requires to have frontage on the road. So we have to extend the property to the road. That's why we're creating the property line. If we could do it just by right of way, we would do it, but we can't.
What do you got, Bruce? Anything?
There is not an issue with providing the right of way at all. There's 25 feet here, 25 feet here. A right of way can be provided.
Charlie's too quiet.
I'm here.
Yeah. Bruce,
Yes, I'm here. I'm
thinking or
thinking.
Has anybody been out to the site?
no?
Driven by, yes.
Driven by, that's all.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, this is the lot frontage right here. So to create frontage to the rear lot, it either comes from this corner, just along the edge, encompasses the driveway and access to the lot. Very reasonable, very practical, makes sense. There's a lot of common sense to that. The other thing is to create a property line over here that either cuts all the way through the lot,
That
which
wouldn't be no good.
is not happening,
Nah.
or wraps all around the outside, which nobody's going to use anyway. So
But why
this is,
couldn't you back that up just a little bit where you get the big road frontage out in the front there?
it's not that big.
Bring
This
that
is
straight
it.
line, right straight back, right straight, the same distance, right on back.
Because this is lot one right here.
Yeah.
And if they come through there, it cuts
Not
through
through
lot
there, not
one.
straight through. I'm talking about right along where you are. So it's got the 50 foot all the way through.
Over here?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we're doing. We're coming through here with the 50-foot right of way, but we need to extend the lot. I guess I could shade this to make it a little bit more clear, maybe.
Now, if
It
it's up
might
by
take-
the road there, you got a bigger parcel than you do what the right of way is.
Yes, this has to be 50 feet at the road.
So why
That's
can't you have
why.
it 50 feet all the way back?
Because then we would only be like 5 feet from the corner of the garage, and
Yeah,
we'd be
you got a
asking,
point there. You got a point there. Okay.
yeah.
But I'm just trying to solve my problem that's hanging me up here, and that solved it right there. I got you on that one.
Yeah, but
All
we
right.
will still have the 50-foot right of way. So 25 feet will belong to lot 2, 25 feet will belong to lot 1,
Right.
and it goes all the way back. This property line is what we're asking the setback
Mm,
variance from. Just one point, one small little
Okay.
point.
Bruce, you got a motion?
I do. I'm working on it right now as we're speaking.
Okay.
Uh,
Make it
You
short and
have-
sweet.
okay. I have most of it, but the critical pieces are the 5 questions. So,
Yeah.
Aaron, I don't know if you can pass me control. I can share my screen with it.
Oh, I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, you do have co-host ability.
So, a little out of, okay, I'm sharing now, am I? Let's see.
You haven't been on camera all the way through, Bruce, so it may not show.
Is that it?
Here it
Yeah.
comes. Yep,
Yep.
we've got it.
There it is.
So I'd like to present the motion. You know, I'm a little out of sorts today. I'm not sure whether I make the motion first or read it first. I've forgotten.
I lost it
Yeah,
again.
read it first.
Read it first, yeah, okay. So, you know, most of the above is boilerplate. Let's just get to
Every
the,
time they switch,
I'm sorry? Okay. So whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to, let me shrink this, to nearby properties will be created by granting the area variance. And I'm sorry, I have this box checked as yes, it should be checked as no.
I was
Granting the
wondering about that.
Yeah, well,
Well,
Thank
I
you.
think
It scared
You know
Nadine.
I'm trying to do it as we're moving, you know?
It's
So
okay.
Absolutely.
granting a variance for approximately 9.5 foot side yard setback would not result in any adverse physical impact. A shared typing in math in public is not a good idea. Shared driveway in this situation is in keeping with the town's comprehensive plan. In fact, you know, I think it's a great idea. Less hardscape. Whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance, no. Existing buildings and septic fields limit the available options for you. Whether the variance is substantial. An application proposes a moderately substantial variance of approximately 24%. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical environment conditions in the neighborhood district, no. There's neither a positive nor negative impact on the physical environment. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant for the decision, the Board of Appeals, but shall not necessarily preclude granting of the area variance. And the findings, yes, this is a self-created difficulty. It's not unique to the property. Other properties in the district would have the same issue. So it's hereby determined that the Town of Rochester Zoning Board, the request for an area variance is granted. That's the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second. So let me jump back. I'll stop sharing this. So with that, Brianna, can you take a roll call vote?
Chair Sars,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher,
yes,
and Mr. Behringer.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries. Thank you very much, Nadine.
Thank
Appreciate the
you.
time and effort that you put into the presentation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time being here tonight. All right.
Back to the planning board.
Yes. All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Night, Nadine.
You.
Back to our agenda.
Can I interrupt for a minute before you go back to your other matters? 'Cause I think that everyone on the board knows that we won the Hoots appeals in all respects. But I think it's good to get that on the record for the community. I know that both Bill and Bruce got the thing. Charlie, did you get the email I sent you? I sent the decision out to everyone. Oh, he's frozen.
I think we lost him.
He's frozen.
He's frozen.
Yeah.
He needs a new
Okay,
computer.
well, I've announced it. If he needs it, he'll let me know. He's back.
Thank you, Mary Lou. Thank you for your efforts on that as well.
Oh, no, thank you guys. You did a good job.
We try.
It wasn't an easy,
No.
it wasn't an easy application by any stretch of the imagination. You guys did
No.
well.
You know, that one, it took quite a few meetings for that. So
Yeah, it did.
Next item on the agenda is, I'm sorry, I've lost my agenda. Let me find that.
The minutes.
The minutes.
I make a
Yes,
motion, we
please, the
approve 'em.
minute.
I make a motion, we approve them all.
And I just want to mention that you're just, accepting them. It doesn't mean you were there. You don't have to have been there to vote on minutes. That's all. I just want to say that because sometimes people abstain because they weren't there, but you don't need to be there.
Just say I
No,
make
and I think with these minutes in particular, they're all on YouTube as well. So there's certainly plenty of opportunity to review them there as well. So review the meetings as if you were there. Bill, I will second that motion to accept them all. Brianna, if we could have a roll call vote.
Chair Sars,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher. Oh, he's frozen again. Hang on. Mr. Behringer,
yes.
Mr. Fisher.
Charlie.
Oh,
He's back.
Mr. Fisher, do you say aye to accepting the outstanding minutes?
Yes, I do.
Thank
Very good.
Wow, I'm excited.
Yeah, took care of them after how many months?
you. Are excited. I'm excited. I worked very hard on those minutes.
I know you do.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bree. Appreciate that. So next item on the agenda was the 2020 year in review report. Both Charlie and Cliff had submitted some spelling errors that I had on it. I've made those adjustments, as well as the other adjustment was, Bill, I had you down as replacing Mr. Fornell, and actually you replaced Ms. Anal. So I
Yeah.
made that adjustment to the document. So this motion is to present the year-end report to our liaison to the town board, Aaron and Alan.
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call vote, Brianna?
Chair Sars,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Behringer.
Yes.
The next item was the planning board had invited us to their workshop meeting so that we could discuss common issues amongst the boards. And these aren't issues that are in front of the boards. These are things like training requirements and items of that nature. We would present the cases perhaps that we worked through this past year in 2020, what challenges we saw in that, where we might be better. So opportunities for us to improve. So I would make a motion that we accept their invitation and have a joint meeting with them on the 25th of January.
I'll second it.
All right.
Mr.
Anna?
Oh. Mr. Sars,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher,
Aye.
and Mr. Behringer.
Aye.
Bill, the one thing that we added was a discussion of the start time for the zoning
Yeah.
board meeting.
Make a motion, we start at 6 o'clock instead of 7.
We have a second. I'll second. Brianna, again, a roll call vote.
Chair Sars,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher,
Aye.
and Mr. Behringer.
Aye.
Mary Lou has informed me that this is going to require publication of the change in the timing as well.
Almost fucking
Okay.
computer.
Right.
And Brianna, remind me next month because I'll forget.
I will try to remind everybody because I will probably forget too, but I will make a note.
I'm going to put it
Brianna,
in my calendar right now, but I will still forget.
Brianna, you gonna send us a link to get to their Zoom? For the
Yes,
26th?
I just got the link from Mike. He had to change the start time on it, so I'm gonna send it over tomorrow, and
What
you
time's that
guys
gonna
will
be?
have the workshop meeting.
Yeah.
Is Monday. at 6:30.
6:30?
Yep.
Okay.
Then Brianna, do you have anything else the board should be aware of since we're in there, in the other matters section?
I do want you guys to know, actually, Becky is leaving. So, she will be leaving next week. And, so that will, be a little bit of an adjustment on everything. So just to let you guys be aware of
Thank you.
Yep.
And then Mary Lou, anything on your side we should be aware of?
No, nothing from me.
And Aaron, since you're filling in for Mike and since you're our liaison, is there anything you'd like to take this opportunity to share with us?
No, nothing from my end.
Good. I make a motion to close the meeting.
Damn it, would have to. I'll second it.
Brianna, is the joint meeting 6 or 6:30?
that. 6:30 on Monday.
Okay, I have it as 6 in my book.
Yeah, it's 6:30. The workshop meetings are always
Okay.
6:30. Yeah.
Right, for some reason I thought they
Yeah.
changed it, but good. Okay, thank you. Okay,
All right. Last vote, Brianna, for the evening.
Chair Sars,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher. Oh, all right, hang on. Mr. Behringer,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Good night, Charlie.
See you tomorrow, Brianna.
Good night, Carol.
hi Carol, I like your Valentine decorations.
Oh, thank you.